Excel's frequency function is an array function. It's different than other functions. You must press Control-Shift-Enter for it to work, and it gives us a frequency distribution count. In this list on the worksheet called frequency, we've got Social Security numbers in column A, salaries in column B. And this goes all the way down to row 621. So we've got 620 different salaries here. Now, in arbitrary fashion, I've put in some data in column D. Every 10,000. I could have used 15,000, 20,000. But what I'd like to be able to come up with here is how many of these entries here are between 0 and 10,000, between 10 and 20,000, and so on. With the frequency function, we highlight the cells ahead of time that will contain the results. What I've also set up here is a chart to the right that will be reflecting the data that's about to emerge in column E. That's certainly not a requirement, but it will reinforce the fact that we're doing a frequency distribution. With these cells highlighted, I'm typing equal frequency, left parenthesis. What we first need is the category called data array. Where are these salaries? They're coming out of column B. I'll simply click column B. The next term is called bins array. This is the arbitrary set of cells right here. Now, when you're using the frequency function, it's common to have the data right next to these. They don't have to be right next to them, but it's commonly done and makes sense here too. And if I press enter, I'll get an answer, but not one that makes much sense. So what I really want to do here as I backtrack is, once again, equal frequency, left parenthesis. Here are the salaries in question, comma. Here's the bins array right here. I'll press Control-Shift-Enter. And so not only do we have data here in column E, but we also have a nice chart to reflect what's going on. And so as we look at the data here, we see the number 5 next to 10,000. If you're not sure what that means, and if it's not an issue about sorting the data, let's sort the data over to the left in column B, and of course the column A entries will go with it. We'll go to the Data tab and simply click AZ. And what are we seeing here? We've got 5 salaries here that are 10,000 or below. Notice that one of them is exactly 10,000. So that's where the 5 comes from. And so we could possibly put additional labeling on the chart to bring this out. The 5 means there are 5 records here between 0 and 10,000 inclusive. There are 31 records above 10,000 up to and including 20,000 and so on. And we see the breakout here. If the data gets adjusted, maybe some of these salaries are going to be changed. I'll simply change this to 10,001. And as I press enter, watch the 5 become a 4 over here. So we've made a change to the data. So this is reflective. Another aspect of this that's a little unusual is if you attempt to delete any of these, you can't delete any one of these, although you can delete them all. So if I press delete here, you get a message, you cannot change any part of an array. And yet, if I wanted to redesign this and put in breakpoints every 5,000, for example, I would want to get rid of these altogether, delete, and then possibly do these over again with a different set of intervals here. So frequency is an array function, and we must press Control-Shift-Enter. I'll simply press Control-Z here to bring it back into display and emphasizing the function again. You can see it in the formula bar, or as I zoom in here, you can also see it right here. There's how it appears. Remember, we don't see the braces until we press Control-Shift-Enter, and we don't see them when entering as well. But it's a powerful tool for coming up with a frequency distribution. The array function frequency.